In this tutorial, you learn how to document your Django REST Framework API using Django and DRF Spectacular. Documenting your API is crucial for developers to understand how to interact with your endpoints, and DRF Spectacular makes this process easy by generating a Swagger-like UI. So we'll start with setting up a Django project and creating a simple API using Django REST Framework. We'll be using a view set. We'll be creating a product model. Then we'll integrate DRF Spectacular to automatically generate the API documentation. You will see how to customize the documentation, add descriptions to your endpoints, and include examples to make it more informative. All right. In this video, we'll show how to use ChatGPT to write comprehensive API documentation. By the end of this tutorial, you'll have a well-documented API that developers can easily explore using the Swagger UI interface, improving the usability of your Django REST Framework API. This is what we are going to be doing in this tutorial. So if you click on this API schema, you'll be able to download the schema for the whole schema for the documentation. You can use it in any other environment where you want to. So let me just open the schema for you to see what it looks like. If you come here, you see what the schema looks like. Okay, the schema for documenting the API that we are going to be creating. But um, yeah, if you need the schema, you can just send it to a colleague or whatsoever. But on the other hand, this is what we want to do basically. I'm going to be showing you how you can document a function based view. This is a function based view over here, and the class based view. Now this is a view set. Okay, this is a view set. You can see all the endpoints: the get, the post, the retrieve, which is also a get endpoint, the put, the patch, and the delete. So you can see how you can document all of them. A view set for viewing and editing products, and I will also show you how to add query parameters. Okay, these query parameters you might be requesting for. If you come to try it out, you might come to execute without adding any query parameters. It will give you a collection of products. I think everything we have over here, we have 56 products. Okay, actually it should be 57 or so. Yeah, 56 products. So those 56 products, now we have different product categories. You might want to filter by, for example, toy. So it will be giving you only the products under the toy category. Under the toys category, you can see the category is toys, category toys, category toys. And if you take a good look at this, we are having over more than 10 entries over here. What if I want only 6 of those entries? So if you come under QTY, which is the quantity of products to retrieve, if you try to enter 6 for example and you execute, now it is going to be giving you all the 6. But the reason this is responding to me is because on this particular web browser I'm logged in as the admin. Okay, this is an authenticated request. If we should try to call this endpoint from a web browser where we are not logged in, it will raise a validation error. Okay, it will raise a validation error. I think the I set the category. Let me check the code. This is it over here. Yes, if you try to look for a category and you are not logged in, if you try to filter the products by category and you are not logged in, you are not authenticated, then it will raise an authentication error. As for the quantity, if you enter a quantity that is negative or that is less than 0 or that is equal to 0, your quantity cannot be less than 0. It will raise a validation error. So if for example I try to enter maybe -2 and I execute, it's giving me quantity cannot be 0 or less. All right, now let me try to open a new incognito window, and let me copy this and let me paste it here. Okay, if I should open it, you see this is my product list. Now if I try to try it out, filter by clothing for example, if I should execute, you can see it is giving me unauthorized request because I've not logged in. But if I should come here to authorize myself, admin, and I authorize, then it is going to be giving me, if I should try to execute now, you see it is giving me clothing, and I can also filter by quantity. I can say maybe 6 clothings, execute, and you see it's giving me only 6 clothings. So you can also come here and all the categories that we have. If you come under models, we have all the categories over here, all the categories we have. And majority all the data that I'm using in this particular tutorial, I generated them from ChatGPT. Okay, and I will also show you how you can generate your own too from ChatGPT. All the documentation you can see over here, I got them from ChatGPT. I got this, I got this, I got this one. I got all the documentations from ChatGPT. So I'll be showing you how you can get all those from ChatGPT as well. And this query parameter was added by default. And another thing you need to know is that this particular documentation that we are writing over here, it is in our Django project. Okay, it is in the Django project itself, like the backend. That is where we have all this one. It is in the Django project that we have this. So another thing you should know is that you don't have to write the HTML, CSS, or JavaScript of this particular file. You don't have to write it by yourself. It is being automatically generated for you. Okay, you don't have to write it. You don't have to write any schemas. You don't have to write any of those. Yeah, I think that is everything that we are going to be treating in this tutorial. So make sure you stay till the end. And yeah, thank you very much. So the prerequisites for this tutorial is just Python and Django. That is all you need to know for you to be able to use this tutorial. Python Django, then Django REST framework rather. Python Django, then Django REST framework. If you need help learning any of the three, we have tutorials on this channel that can help you. This is our YouTube channel. Just look for Halogenius Ideas. If you go on that playlist, you will see the seasoned Python developer. So just come to the seasoned Python developer. Then if you come to view full playlist, you will see all the videos over here. This everything you need to be to get your Python development journey started or to even improve on it. You have them here. So you can see the one for Django. Where is the Django tutorial? Okay, this is the Django tutorial. So this is the Django REST framework tutorial. This is what you use to build APIs. This is just the basic Django, like the native Django. Then we have the Python. Okay, for you to take this tutorial, you need to understand Python, Django, and Django REST framework, and that is everything you need. Another thing that would help you is to how to create virtual environments for your Python project, basically Django or Flask. How to create virtual environments, because that is what we are going to be using. Okay. Now let us create our development environment. If you come to just go to your device, your laptop, create a new folder. The folder you will create, I have mine here already. So what I want to do is to open this folder in terminal. For me to open this folder in terminal, I just have to right click and open in terminal. If you're on Windows, you can just open your command prompt. Then from the command prompt, you look for a way to navigate to the folder where you are in currently. Okay, so I'm going to be starting by creating a virtual environment like I advise my students in every of my tutorials. Make sure you use a virtual environment. So if you don't know how to use a virtual environment, you can use this tutorial over here, this one over here. So it is just it's around 10 minutes, just 10 minutes. So come back here. Where's my okay, this is it. So I'll just virtual env, then I can just say docs underscore env. Okay, virtual env. So now I have my virtual environment created. So you can see the docs env. I can just this is my environment. So the first thing I want to do is to cd into my docs env. Okay, if I list all the files, you can see I have bin, I have the library, then I have this py virtual environment configuration file. Then the first thing I have to do is to activate the environment. If I don't activate the environment, it is still working within the environment of the whole computer, but I want to develop in only this isolated environment, so I have to activate it first before I can use it. Bin slash activate, and you can see this, it shows that this is the environment you are working in. So moving on, I have to install some packages. I will be installing Django and Django REST framework. Okay, I'll be installing Django and Django REST framework. So pip install Django Django Rest framework. Okay, so it is installing it for me. No, the reason why it is not downloading any of the packages from the internet is because the cached versions on my device are the latest ones. So on your end, if you've not installed if you've never installed Django and Django REST framework, it will obviously go to the internet to download for you. But all in all, it will install the packages here. So now that I've installed all these ones, I can just Django admin start project backend. So now that I've created the backend project, if you come here, you can see this backend over here. So um, then from there, I can cd into backend. So after cding into backend, the next thing I want to do is to open backend in my VS Code first and foremost. So let me see what I have. Okay, this is backend over here. So yes, everything is working fine. So now that I have created the project, let me create the app that I'm going to be using. So Python manage.py start app API. So you can see the new app API over here. Come back here and yeah, I think that will be all for the virtual environment. We need to for the development environment. So just to be sure that everything is working fine, Python manage.py then start app. No, run server rather. Run server. Okay, so copy the whole of this. Copy. Then come here. Um, I like to use this other browser. No, okay, this one. You can use any web browser of your choice. So I just have one I created specifically for tutorials. So you can see it is working fine. The Django installation is working fine. So this is my ChatGPT over here. I have my ChatGPT open. I'm using the free version, the ChatGPT 3.5. So as at the time of recording this video, this is what we have that is free. So you can always check it out. Just go to chat.openai.com. Then from there you create a ChatGPT account. Okay. So just come here. I think it should be chat.openai.com. Then okay. So from here, I think you should be able to ask ChatGPT one or two. So list out all the countries in North America. So you can see, I don't think you actually have to create an account then. So you can just use this. This should be fine. This should work fine. So well, I would like to create. I would like to do mine inside my personal account so that I'll be able to get all these chats that I'm going to be sending to ChatGPT today. I'll have them stored on their servers. So anytime I log in and I need that information, I can always get it back. I would advise you to actually create an account since it is free. So you can just create it and you use it for any other thing you might need it for. So let us move on to work on the project. So come to settings.py and I'm going to be adding a couple of applications. Start by adding REST framework. REST framework, then add API, and that will be all. Then come to API, come under models.py. I'm going to be using a product model. So my product model is going to be having some categories. It's going to be having some categories, and let me write the category choices first. Category choices, and this is going to be equal to a tuple of tuples. So These choices, I'm going to be having electronics. I hope that was spelled correctly. Electronics, yes. Electronics. Okay, so the next one, clothing. Then clothing. So basically, the reason why you have to write this thing twice, this is what is going to be shown to the user, okay, as a key basically, but this is the actual value that is going to be stored in the database. So just take notes. So when you want to query the database, this is what is going to be shown to you, but in the back end, when you want to add the products, this is what you are going to be seeing. Okay, so after clothing, books, then books. Okay, then from there, let me also add toys, then toys. You are just creating a basic API here, just something very basic. Then other, other. Okay, and that is all for the category choices. So now let us create the product model. So class product. So for this product now, I'm going to be having models dot model. So models dot model. Then I'm going to be having name equal to models dot character field, and the maximum length of the name of the product is going to be, I can actually use 100, but let me just do 255. So let me just do 255, and from here the next thing I want to do is to give it a description. So for this description, I'm going to be having models dot text field. So this is going to be a text field. Obviously it's not going to be having any length. So for the description, okay, I'm going to be having a price, and this price is going to be equal to models dot decimal field. So this decimal field, the maximum digits is going to be equal to, let's just say 10. Maximum digit is going to be 10, and the decimal places is going to be 2. Okay, so the price of the product, I'm restricting it to 10 digits and 2 decimal places. Then I can do something like created arts. So when you create the products, I can do models dot date time. So date time field, and my date time field auto now add equal to true. So anytime you create the product entry, then it is going to register the time as at when it was created. Okay, now I have something almost similar here, which is the updated at, so this will be updated at. So I have models dot datetime feed, but this one is going to be auto now. Okay, so this is auto now. The reason why I'm using auto now add is that anytime you create the product, it will register this one. It will also register this other one too. But auto now is every time you perform an action, maybe when you update the product, it will register it as the updated at over here. So now the last one that we are going to be, the last field is going to be the category field. So category field is going to be a text field, a special type of text field, or a character field rather. So models dot character field. So for this character field now, I'm going to be having a maximum length of maybe 20. Then I'm going to be adding choices. equal to now the category choices that I created over here. Okay, this category choices is going to be the choices. So in the admin area, it's going to be giving me a drop down. It's going to be giving me all these values drop down. So that is the model. Let me just create a string representation of the model. So def underscore underscore str underscore underscore. So just give me self, then return self dot name, self dot name. Okay. So now I think we are good to go. But before we leave here, I'll have to register the model in admin.py in register the model in admin.py. Yes. So from dot model, no, from models, yes, import product. So now that my product is here, just admin dot site dot register. And what do I want to register? My products. So after doing this, we migrate the data, we create a super user so we can log into the admin dashboard. So come back here, quit this, Python manage.py, make migrations, then migrate. Okay, so now create a super user. Admin admin@admin.com admin, no, let me delete everything. Admin, yes. So now run the server. Now that my server is running, I can come back and instead of doing this, I can just copy and go to slash admin, then admin, the password is going to be admin, go in and you can see my products over here. Close this. So you can see my products. I can come to add. I can say the name of my product is maybe um what can I use over here? I'm looking around me to see what I can think of. Okay, let me say HP mouse. This product is used to, what do they use a mouse for? Let me ask ChatGPT. Today is a day you are free to be lazy. What is a mouse used for? I don't know how to put the words together, so exactly. So I think this is what I want. Or let me copy the second one too. Copy. So we are using ChatGPT today, so there's no there's no point thinking of it. So the price of a mouse, well, over here in Nigeria, how much do we get mouse? Um, Gone are the days when you see 500 naira mouse. So let's just say $10 or $10.52. So the category, you can see what I'm getting over here. There is something that is wrong somewhere. If you come under models, this is supposed to be capital O, but I'll just leave it like that for now. This is supposed to be capital O. So let me put it under electronics, then I'll save. After saving, you can see my HP mouse over here. If I open it, I can do whatsoever. So that is the mouse basically. Now we are creating an API documentation, and we are going to be doing a lot, adding query parameters and all those things. So the first thing I want us to do is to generate seed data. Okay, is to generate seed data for this particular product. How can we do that? We have ChatGPT to help out. So how will we push everything to ChatGPT? I'll come here, I can copy the whole of my products model. Okay, I can just copy everything. Then I'll tell ChatGPT to generate maybe 50 seed data for me for this model. So come here, I um, generate maybe 60 seed, let me say seed data for the model below, I want to use it in development. It should be in JSON format. The JSON format is going to be a valid Python dictionary, so you can just copy and you paste it. So this is my model, and you give everything to ChatGPT, it knows what to do. So you can see what ChatGPT is doing now. It is generating the dummy data. Okay, no, add all the 60 products yourself. Okay, add everything yourself. Okay, ChatGPT used to misbehave once in a while. I want you to add everything, and but if your internet is bad, it might just cut at some point. Just make sure your internet is good. So we just have to wait for it a bit. We just have to wait for it a bit. Um, I'm the one scrolling manually, but I will wait till it finishes. You can see it cut at some point, but I think I have enough data I can use for what I want to do. So let me just manage these ones for now. Let me manage these ones for now. I'm copying. Okay, so let me just copy this one. Then you come to the Python, the app. You can create a file. I like to use seed.py. Okay, you can use whatever you want. So I can just say seed or product dummy products equal to, I'll create a list, then I'll paste all these ones inside. So you can see all the dummy products that ChatGPT created for me. It's a lot actually. This should be around 30 or so. I think I can make do with this one. So these are the dummy products I have. I should be able to work with this. Now, we need to write a function that will populate our database with this information that we have here. We need to write a function that will populate our database with this information that we have here. So how do we do that? It's very simple actually. It's very simple. So you come to views.py. Under views.py, I can just say def import dummy, no, import dummy data. Then I'm going to be accepting requests. Okay, so I'm not going to be using render. I can say from .seed import the dummy products, then from rest framework response import response. Okay, so now I can start to write my function. Just to take precaution, I'm going to be using the try except block. So except um, exception as e, then you return a response, and the response you want to return is basically well, let me see, error response is going to be equal to a dictionary where you have error um, an error occurred. Then you bring your e here, but I need to add formatted string for this to take effect. Then I can just say message instead of error. Then just return response, error response, comma, status equal to, so from rest framework import status. So this will be status dot let me say 400 bad requests. Oh, I think this should do. So let me come and write the try block where I'm going to be populating the database. So I can just say for entry in this dummy product. For every entry in dummy products, what I want you to do is products. I need to bring in my products from dot models import products. So products dot objects dot create. Okay, products dot objects dot create. Then I'm going to be, don't forget, these are the fields that I'm going to be supplying to. These are the fields I'm going to be supplying: name, description, price, and category. I can actually copy all the four of them. So um, I'm just being lazy. I'm just being lazy, and laziness is not good. So name is going to be entry indexing name, then comma name description, name description, then this is going to be price, then this other one is going to be category. Okay, so category, price, description, and name, and this is going to create it directly. Okay, so dot object dot create. Another way you can do this is that you can do something like p equal to products. Okay, then you bring all this data into product, then after that you say p dot save, and it will save the product for you. But this does it saves the product directly to the database, so there's no point doing this one. And that is it basically. Now after the for loop, I want to return a response. That is, after this for loop I've executed, I can just come here and say response equal to, I can say message. So I can just say data imported successfully. Okay, data imported successfully, then um, return response. And after returning response, you can just say status equal to status. What am I doing? Response. So this is supposed to be response. So this is supposed to be this response over here. Then status dots. Here 201 created, because we created something. So that is the function to import the dummy data from this dummy product that we got from ChatGPT. So save that, and we need to create a urls.py file for this API app. So urls.py. After creating that, from django.urls import path. So from there you come to create your URL patterns. Your URL patterns is going to be a list of paths. So um, just give me import import data. Okay, let me just use this for now. Then I'll bring in this particular view, which is import dummy data. Actually, I'm going to be writing views here, so let me just bring in everything um, from dot views import everything. So I won't have to be importing manually later. So import dummy data. Now before this URL is going to be valid, it's going to be um, before somebody will be able to visit this endpoint over here, we have to register it in the backend. So settings for us to no, it's under urs.py. Can we, is there a way to create Django project without all this noise that Django adds? So path, well, they are not noise actually. Include, then path, just empty string, then include api.urls. So api.urls is actually referring to this urls.py URL patterns. Okay, so where is it? urls.py. Save, and I think everything is working fine now. So actually I want to do api slash. Okay, api slash. So basically I'm going to be using api slash import data for me to be able to hit this particular function, import data. So save that, and let us go and try it out. So api slash, come here, urls.py, api slash imports hyphen data. So come here and let me copy this. Don't forget that at this point what we have is just the HP mouse. So come here and paste this slash api slash import hyphen data. Don't forget the trailing slash and run it. I'm having actually I got that error because I forgot to decorate my function based view, so please don't make that mistake. From rest framework dot decorators import api view. Okay, so please don't forget at api view, and this is supposed to be a get method. No, get, yes. So let me just generate another set of dummy data so we can try it out. So we can just call that one dummy2. Let me see if this first set of products that were generated. I have smartphone, I have laptop, and I have t-shirts. I think it's the same thing. You didn't generate all the required products, just generate 20 more. Okay, so hopefully, okay, very good. I don't think it is giving me what it has given me before, because I'm seeing sweatpants and board games. Yes, it's giving me something differently new, entirely new. So this is wireless mouse, artbook. I think it is giving me it has given me artbook before, but I'll just leave those ones for now. Okay, so let me copy this one. I'll use it as dummy 2 so as to show you that the fix is going to work fine. So just copy this dictionary, this dictionaries, come here to seed.py, then save this one as dummy 2. Let me just go down. So dummy products 2 equal to a list of dictionaries. So I'm not going to be using the dummy 1 anymore. I'm going to be using dummy 2 now. So okay, so come to views. Where are my views? Views, no, views.py, dummy product. Let me use dummy 2. So now I'm going to be putting dummy 2 over here. I'm just trying to show you that this fix actually works for the error. So come here, and you see that the last one we are having here is Bluetooth speaker, and the first one is smartphone. So if we should run that particular query again, import data. Oh god, it's not giving it back to me. Control Let me just write everything out again. Copy, paste this, and API slash import hyphen data and run it. And you can see message data imported successfully. If I should come here to reload this, you will see that I have a lot more products now. You can see I have a lot more products now. So that is it. Now that we have created the product that we are going to be using for our API, this is just we creating a basic a foundation for the API that we want to build so that we can learn how to document. Now, the first endpoint that we are going to be creating here is an endpoint that we are going to be using to get the number of products that are available in the on the website. So, how can we do that? Just come here. I'm going to be showing you how to document both a function based product and a function based view and a class based view. So let me do at API view. So for this API view, I'm going to be having the get method, then the I can say num product. So this num product is going to be accepting the request of the user. Then after accepting the request, it's going to be giving you something like data equal to the dictionary count. No, then product dot object dot count. And this is going to be giving me the number of products I have in my database. Just return response, then data, and that will be all. So this is a method that is supposed to get me the number of products I have in the database. So I don't need this anymore. I don't think I need this for now, and I don't think I need this for now. So come to URLs. So I can just copy this path, copy, and paste it again. This is going to be get count, get product count. And don't forget, this is going to be num products. Okay, so save this. So for the num products, I'm going to be what is the endpoint? Get product count. So this is going to be get products. So I don't want to mistakenly import the data again. So let me comment this one out. So currently this endpoint is not valid. So get product count. If I should run this, you can see I have a total of 56 entries in my database, 56 entries of products. So what if I want to use the DRF Spectacular? This is not proper API documentation. That is the essence of this tutorial, right? How we can document the API. So let us move to documenting the API proper. Come to Google and look for DRF Spectacular. Okay, so this is DRF Spectacular. This is DRF Spectacular. So if you want to read the docs, you can read the docs, but just come here and let us install the DRF Spectacular. Now, there are two ways you can install the DRF Spectacular. You can install it such that the template files is going to be hosted locally in your Django project. They did those precautions for backends that won't be having access to the internet. If you don't have access to the internet to generate the template files over CDN, then you can just use the, I think it is sidecar. Yes, that's what they call it. But we are not going to be installing sidecar because obviously my device has access to, my backend has access to the internet. So just copy this. We are installing DRS Spectacular now. So come here and don't forget I'm in my virtual environment. Control Shift V. Install DRS Spectacular. Okay, now that DRS Spectacular is on, I'm not running my server yet. So I have to add this to my installed apps. So come to settings.py, installed apps. Let me add it on top of every other one. No. So now that I've done that, the next thing is to come to the REST framework settings. So I can just bring that one in, then come here and yes, the spectacular settings. Copy, just come here. The title, I can say um, Django documentation tutorial. Then this is the documentation of product backend. So I'll just use that for now. After doing that, this is the self-contained installation I was talking about where you are using Sidecar, but we have access to the internet, so there's no need for us to do that. If you are running Docker, then you are going to have to run this packet, this command over here. But I'm not using Docker, so obviously I'll just go with this one and just Python manage.py. Then you run that. So make sure that you are in the folder where you have your manage.py file. So I can just say Python manage.py, then spectacular. This is going to be generating a schema file, but you must take note of something. When you are generating your schema file, make sure that all your URLs, you don't have any URLs that is connected to. It's a precaution actually. It's a precaution actually. I've never tried not doing it any other way. So what I'll do is that for this other one, so okay, so I've commented that one out. So it is not going to be seeing any URLs at all. So for these settings, I can save this. After saving it, come here and run this. It will generate a schema file for you. This is the schema over here. Okay, this is the schema over here. If you've done Swagger UI documentation of API before, you will know all these ones, but you are not going to be writing any of those. So just look away. This is the last time you are going to be seeing this file. Just make sure the file is here. So after doing that, I can come back to API, then I can bring back my URLs. So after bringing everything back, the next thing I want to do is to bring in the user interface. So copy all this, copy, then okay, this is the backend URLs. Let me paste this one here first. I know that this one is supposed to go up. Then um, for this path, for this one, I'm going to be needing this one. I'm not going to be using all the three of them. I'm going to be using this one, and I'm also going to be using this one is actually compulsory. If you want to use the Swagger UI, these are the two I'm going to be using. I don't need the third one. So those are the two I'm going to be using. So let me just take this import out since I don't need it. So save everything, and I think we are good to go. So you can see what we have: API schema. Then let me bring this API to the last one. Let me bring this API down to the last one. So, and I think that will be all. This schema basically, it will, you can download the schema file of the API, so you can take it any other place you want to. So let us see what this Swagger UI is going to be looking like. So API slash schema slash Swagger UI. Come here under non products. So just copy this beginning and paste it here. And run it. Oh, my server is off. So Python manage.py, then run server. So reload. You can see the Django documentation. You can see. Okay, you can see that schema URL. If I should click on this, it will download the schema file for you. Open the schema file. You can see the schema file. Okay, the schema file for only the get product count. It detected this get product count automatically. We didn't have to do anything for it to detect it. Okay, and you can see what the schema file looks like. Basically, after writing all this schema file, you can take this schema file to any Swagger environment and you convert it to the HTML like this one, just like this one. But we are not going to be doing that, so I'm just showing you what is possible. Okay, so now that we have the get product count over here, if I should open it, you can see no parameters, nothing, nothing. So I can also decide to try it out. If I should try it out, I execute. After executing, you see what it's giving me. The count is what, 56. And you can see the response headers. It's giving me get 12 and all these other ones. You can see that we didn't have to do anything much to get this particular endpoint working perfectly. We didn't have to do anything much. And if you come to the server, you can see this is where it got the API schema. Something must be wrong somewhere. Error in. Okay, okay. We are still going to register the serializer. Just leave the serializer for now. So it is just waiting for a serializer, but we will add the serializer very soon. So yeah, that is how we document this one over here. But I don't like the fact that it is not giving me any content over here. Normally, when you see what API documentation looks like, you are supposed to have some sort of content here explaining what this endpoint does. And guess what? That is where ChatGPT comes in again. So come here and come to views. So I don't think we have anything to do here anymore, and I don't think we have any settings to work on anymore. So come to views. You can see this particular endpoint over here, this particular function. So I'll copy everything and I will give it to ChatGPT to I will give it to ChatGPT to write the docstring to the documentation. So I can just do something like this. I can say write the docstring documentation for this Django view method. You can write it anyhow you want, but just make sure it is something ChatGPT will understand. I want the method, I mean the function rather. This is supposed to be a function. So the function is supposed to get the number of products I have in my database. The function is below. Okay, so just paste it there and give it to it. And guess what? And that is it. And that is it. So you can see retrieve the total number of products in the database, ask, and you can even ask it to be more detailed. So be more detailed. You can also ask it to be more detailed and it will come up with stories for you. So you can see it will come up with stories for you. So I think I want to use this one. I think I want to use this one. So just copy the doc string. Or I might as well copy everything since so just copy and you come here, you replace everything here with this. Now, one thing you will note is that you can see the way this string documentation is making this function looking messy. You can see how it is making it to look very messy, which is not what we want. So it is looking all bugged up. But let me save this one first. Then let's go and see what it will look like. So if I come here to my Swagger front end and I reload, you can see the documentation over here. Retrieve the total number of products in the database, and you can see all this. Okay, you can see all this. As at the point of recording this video, I'm still trying to look for ways to format all this text over here. I'm going to be recording another video where I'll show you how to format all the text over here. So actually, there are some ways you can do it, but for now I've not gotten a hold of it. But this is the documentation basically. This is the documentation. So I think that is it. So retrieve the number of products in the database, and that is your documentation for you. So the next thing that we want to do now, we want to work on the class documentation. If you want to document a class, like the model view set or the API views. Now, one thing you would note is that the model view set, you're going to be having, you can do all the CRUD operations inside the model view set. Okay. But one extra thing I'm going to be showing you in the model view set is how you can add query parameters to your documentation. A query parameter, for example, is you having parameters like maybe if you have a list of products like what we are going to be doing, you can search by category. You can get the list endpoint is going to be giving you the list of all the products available, but in that same list endpoint we can use a query parameter to tell the backend that the only products that we want to get are products that are in so category, or products that are in so category, or we want to get only 20 products. Okay, we have 56 but we want to get only 20. So all those things we are going to be talking about them now. Let's go and create the serializers. So to go and create the serializer, I'll create a serializers.py file. So from rest framework dot serializers import serializer, then from pro models, yes, import products, then class products serializers, model serializer, should be class, then class meta, please, capital letter M. Don't make mistake. Don't make the mistake I make very frequently. Model equal to product, this product that we are bringing in from the models, then fields equal to underscore all, or underscore, meaning that I want to serialize all the fields. So I can close this one, I don't need it anymore. From rest, no, from dot serializers import the product serializer. Okay, so now that I have my product serializer, I can go ahead to create my view set. To create the view set, I can just say class product view set. So from rest framework import view sets, or I can say dot view set import capital V view sets. View sets import view set, yes. So the product view set, then I'm going to be setting the query set. The query set is going to be products dot objects dot all. That is going to be the query set. Then I'm going to be setting the serializer class. The serializer class is going to be the product serializer that we created. So that is going to be the serializer class, but we need to register this in the URLs for Swagger UI to pick it up. Come here, I'm going to be bringing in include, then I'm going to be bringing in routers. So from REST framework dot routers import default router. So this default router, I'm going to be creating a variable router equal to the default router. Then the next thing I can say router dot register. I want to register a raw string product. Then comma product view set. Now don't forget that I imported all from views. So as soon as I created the product view set, it is I can just get it from here. So after doing that, I have to include it. I have to include it. So let me just come here and do something like this. Path. Let me use it the roots. Then from the roots, I can include router.urls, and that is it. And that's it. So if I should come here to reload now, um, it is not picking it up directly. Now, when I created the product view set, Swagger UI is supposed to was supposed to pick it up automatically, pick all the endpoints. If you come under product for this router, if you have used view sets before, you will note that all the CRUD operations are available, all the CRUD endpoints are available by default. So if you come to views, where I made the mistake is that instead of using viewset dot model viewset, I was doing something like viewset dot view set. All right, it is supposed to be dot model viewset. So if you save this and you go back to the Swagger UI, if you should reload it, you will get all the endpoints. You can see the get product count and the product. The name given to this particular endpoint is get product count. The name given to this one is get product. If you should open the get product count, you will see the documentation and how you can use them. Now you can see all these other ones too. You can see category enumeration. This category enum, it detected it from here, from these models over here. If you remember the category choices, okay, then that is what we have here. Then the patched product, the one you are concerned with. The reason why we are having a patched product is basically a combination of both the category and the product. Okay, so if you see what we have over here, then the created that is a string date time then products. You can see the category in now. If you notice very well, we didn't have to write any form of any particular code, just what is inbuilt already is what we are using at this point now. So let me close all the schemas. This is one of the reasons why I love to use Django, because with minimal effort you can do a lot, you can achieve a lot with just minimal effort. So that is it. If you open the product, you see what we have over here. We can start to try them out straight away. If you come here and you execute, you see that you can see the HP mouse that we created, that first one. You can see the timestamp, and you can see all the products that we have. You can see all the products that we have. Everything is intact. So that is that about the view set itself. Now you can see that we don't have any content over here. Now what we would have done, which will be very very unwise, is for us to come to the view set. We create something like list. No, it should be def. You create a list. Then you come here to write the documentation, something like this will retrieve the this will retrieve the all the products we have, all the products in database. So we save this and come here. If I should reload, you can see this will retrieve all the products in database. Now, come here, you wrote this. Now you have to write for all the endpoints that we have in the view set. All the endpoints we have, I think we have about six of them. We have, I wrote them somewhere in my notes, so I won't omit any of them. Let me quickly look for it. We have list, we have create, we have retrieve, we have update, we have partial update, then we also have destroy. So you don't want to be writing all the documentation for each and every one of them individually. That will be very, very unwise for you to do. So there is a way inbuilt that we can write all the documentation without having to write any of this function, without having to override any of the functions. There's a way we can do that without having to override any of the functions. But before we do that, I want to show you how to add query parameters to your Swagger UI. How you can add query parameters to your Swagger UI. For example, what do I mean by query parameters? What I mean is, if I should come here now, for standard APIs, at some point you might have to filter. If I come here, try it out, and I execute, you see what I'm having over here. I'm having 56 different entries, and for one reason or the other, this might not be what the application will require. It still largely depends on the requirements of your application. So I might just need 20 records, or I might just need 10 records. Okay, just 20 or 10 records. That might be what I need. So and another thing I might want to do is to filter the products by category. Okay, to filter the products by category is it's another thing I might want to do. So instead of having all these things here, we can add query parameters. You can see under parameters area over here, we can add query parameters that is going to be allowing us to filter all those things, and every time we filter, it will reflect in the URL over here. So you can see the call request, and you can see the request URL. So let us come here, and now we are going to be overriding the list method. Okay, so for us to override the list method, just say def list. I'm going to be accepting self first, then I'm going to be accepting the user's request. Now for me to get, I want to get two values from the user: category and quantity. Okay, I want to get category and quantity. So I can just do something like category is going to be equal to request dot query params dot get. Then the name of the query parameter will be category. Then the next one is going to be quantity. I will just say qty. Qty. Okay, so now for me to filter by category, I can just say if the category um no, if category, that is if normally this will be giving you, if the user entered the category, then it will be giving you a truthy value. If the user did not enter the category, then obviously it's going to be giving you a false value, which is none or undefined or something like that. So no, it is in JavaScript that you have undefined. In Python, what we have is none. Okay, so if category, then self dot query set. Basically the query set that is going to be returned to the user, I want to edit it. I By default it is going to be getting all the data in the database. Okay, but that is not what I want if you are filtering by category. So I have to modify the query set and say this is going to be self dot query set, then dot filter, then category. I can say underscore underscore I contains. So it will not be case sensitive. I don't want the category entry to be case sensitive. So I contains equal to category. Okay, and that will be it. Then for the quantity, if qty, for the quantity now, if qty, the next thing I want to do, self dot query set, self dot query set equal to yes, self, I'm trying to look at my notes, self dot query set, then just do int qty, because by default what you are going to be getting is a string for the quantity. Okay, then now let me serialize the query set I have at this point. I can just say serializer equal to the product serializer. Okay. At this point, if at all these two values were entered by the user, at this point it would have given me the desired query set. Then I'll just serialize that query set, self dot query set, then comma many equal to true. Just return response, and the response I want to return is the serializer dot data, and that is it. So serializer dot data. But at this point, this category and this quantity query parameters are not going to be visible in the front end. Let me show you. If I should reload this, you can see that for now I still can't find the query parameters here. If I should try it out, you see I'm not getting anything. For now I will still be getting all the 56 records. So how can I bring the query parameters here, so that when my front end developers come here they will be able to use the query parameters? I have to normally I have to create a decorator. I have to create a decorator for this particular function only, because I don't want the query parameters to be available in the destroy method, which is for the delete method, the destroy, the partial update. I don't want it to be available for all those ones. So I want it to be available only in list. So that is why I'm going to be creating the decorator only for this particular method. So now I can decide to write the decorator inline. For example, I can just say at extend schema, then I'll write everything here, but it will be too bogus. So let me create a new file. I'm going to be naming my file schema.py. This is totally up to you. Then in the schema.py file, I'm going to be bringing in some few stuff. So I can just say from Django Rest framework, from Django Rest framework, um, DRF Spectacular dot utils import. What do you want to import? Extend schema. That's what we want to import. Then open, I think API parameter. Yes, this is what I need. Then from DRF Spectacular dot types, I want you to import open API types. Open API types. So after bringing in the types, I'll bring in my product serializer. So from dot serializers, import the product serializer. Okay. So after importing the product serializer, the next thing we want to do is that we can just say the products list docs decorator. Okay, this is going to be equal to the extend schema. So this extend schema now is going to be accepting some values. The first one is responses. Actually, it's going to be responses. Then I'll bring in the product serializer, but I'm going to be specifying here that many equal to true, because this is a list method. Then I have let me now bring in the parameters. So parameters, for these parameters I'm going to be bringing in a list. Okay, then the first one is going to be open API parameter. Then the name is going to be category. Okay, the name is going to be equal to a string category. Then the type is going to be equal to open AI types.str. Okay, that is going to be the type. Then you have to add the location too. The location will be equal to open API parameter dot query. That is where you're going to be having it. Now you are going to be adding a description. So description equal to um the no, it's going to be a string, the category of products to retrieve. Okay, category of products to retrieve, and that is all you have to do here. So for the second parameter, which is quantity, all we have to do is just to copy this first one. Then don't forget, it's a list of open API parameters. So just, this is the first one, this is the second one, this is going to be qty. Don't forget qty. So the second one, this is going to be int. Don't forget, it's an integer that we want to collect. Then it's going to be under the query section. Then the let me say the quantity of products to retrieve, and that is it basically. That is it. Save this. I have to import this product list docs. Then I'll use it to decorate this one. So from dot schema import product list docs. So save this and come back here. If I should reload, something is wrong. Okay, I've imported it, but I've not decorated the method. Sorry about that. So at, so that is it. Just decorate it. Come here and reload. So you can see the query parameters now. You can see the query parameters now. So if you want to add a bit of docstring to it, so this method helps to retrieve the products in the database, and that is it. So come here and reload it. So this method helps to retrieve products in the database. Let me put the full stop. Yes. Come here and reload. Okay, this is it. So we have the category, then we have the integer. So this is the category of the products to receive, then this is the quantity of products to receive. One other thing that we can do, we can put a check, some sort of validation to ensure that the category you are looking for, that it exists. That is the first one. The second one, for this quantity over here, we can also put a check to validate the number you enter, that number one, it is not a negative number. The second one, it is not a negative number. The second one, I think that is the only validation we can possibly put there, but you can add it in your own. So now that I have this one over here, now let me try it out. For me to try it out, the quantity, let me say I need only 10. Okay, execute. So you see that it will be giving me only 10 products. Initially it will be giving me 30 or the 56, but now because I entered 10 over here, okay, it is giving me 10 products alone. 10 products alone, that is what it's giving me now. And you can see the request URL now. The request URL have changed. The request URL have changed. Now let us get products by category. So what categories do we have? Come to models. Let me check this clothing category. So for this clothing category, let me just enter clothing, then let me reduce this to 6. Okay, so 6 products in the clothing category. So execute. Come here. You can see that I have t-shirts category clothing, jeans category clothing, dress shirt category clothing, and I have only 7 of them. Okay, because that is the 6 of them. If I say 10, for example, if I have up to 10, it will give me all the 10. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You can see I have up to 10. Everything is 10. Okay, so this is to tell you that this is working fine. These query parameters, they are working fine. So I think that will be all for the query parameters. Now you can see the way we documented this one. You see the way we documented this one. I want to show you how we can document this one without having to override all the methods in the view set. For example, if you come to the view set over here, you see that we had to create this one manually. Then if we want to create for maybe the create method, def create. Okay, you can see the create over here now. You can see maybe this method helps to add new products to the database. Save this, come back here and reload. So this post endpoint is the one that we use to create new product, and you can see everything. All these endpoints are working at this point now. They are all fully functional endpoints. All of them. They are all. You can see the query parameter to get a single product. If I want to try it out, for example, and I want to get a product with the ID of maybe, okay, I've reloaded the page with the ID of maybe 7. Just come here, enter the 7, and voila, you can see. You can see. So all these endpoints, they are fully functional endpoints. You can update. You can use this one to update. You can also use this one to partial update. Okay. So the difference between this put and this patch is that for you to update this one, you have to supply all the and all the values. Okay, all the values and the ID. You have to supply all of them. But for partial update, you just supply the value for the key, the data that you want to change. You don't have to supply everything. Okay. So then that is just it. Then for the delete, just enter an ID and you delete it. But you have to click on try it out for it to be active. So that is it. Now for us to document the whole view set without having to override the methods in the view set, it is very easy. All you have to do is we have created the documentation for this one to some extent. So let me take this one out. If I take this product list docs out and I save it, come here and if I should reload, you will notice that my query parameters are gone, but don't worry, we will document the whole view set in one spot. So the first thing I want to do is to create a docstring file. Okay, a docstring file. In the docstring file, I'm going to be adding the documentation for all the endpoints. So come here and create something like docstring.py, docstring.py. So for this docstring.py, I'm going to be having where is my view set? It should be under views. Yes, this is my view set. So I can just come here and do something like this. Copy, then okay. Come to ChatGPT, create a doc string, generate a doc string for the list method of the product view sets below. Okay, so that's the list method. Okay, so you can ask it to be more detailed. Actually, you can ask it to be way more detailed than this, but I'll just go with this. I'll just go with this. So copy and no, this view set, no, just the list method. I want documentation for the list method only. Okay, let me just copy this, then I'll manually delete the other one. ChatGPT can be stressful some days. So list docs equal to, paste it here. I don't think I want this, so let me just take that one out. So this will be for the list. Now create docs equal to, come to ChatGPT. So let me just do it the hard way. Copy, create So this is for the create, copy, then come to the docstring, paste it here. I don't want this one. So after the create documentation, we have retrieve. Okay, docs. Retrieve docs equal to. So for the retrieve endpoints, just copy this. So this is going to be for the retrieve method. Okay, you can see it's even adding the parameters. So for the retrieve method, copy, then I don't want this. Okay, for the retrieve method, then we have the update docs. So for this update docs, come to ChatGPT, update method of the product viewsets. So okay, so this is for the updates, and now we have the partial update as well. So partial updates. So partial update docs. For the partial update docs, so copy this. Like I said, you can ask it to be way more detailed. Copy. So to copy partial update docs, um, now for deleting, I don't need this. I don't need this, and there's no way for me. I hope I don't have it in any of those. Now for deleting, delete docs. For delete docs, for the delete docs, okay, so okay, so okay, I have all this information here now. If I were to type all this inside that single file, the views.py file, the class will just look messy, and that is not what I want. And hence the reason why I added this product list docs to another file entirely. So I will go back to the schema file and complete the documentation there. So if you notice very well, this product list docs, I used extend schema, but now I have to bring in extend schema view. Extend schema view. So extend schema view is what I can use to document the whole view set. So for me to document the whole view set now, I can say product view set docs equal to extend schema. Then after extend schema view, then the extend schema view, I'll bring in the list method. So for the list method, I'll just say extend schema, and the schema I want to extend, I'm just going to be bringing in summary and description for all of them. So summary equal to, let me just say, list all the products. Okay, so list all the products, then the description is going to be equal to this list doc in this docstring over here, that list doc. So how can I do that? I can just bring in my list doc, my I can just bring in all these variables from the docstring. So from docstring import all, then list docs. Okay, so put your comma. The second one is going to be the retrieve. So for the retrieve I can just say retrieve products, retrieve products, then this will be retrieve docs, then create. So for the create new products, create new product, then this will be create docs, then I think after create we have updates. So for this update, just extend schema. Okay, I can just paste this update, then update existing products. So this is going to be the update docs. Then we also have partial update and delete. So let me just copy to copy, then paste it. This is going to be partial update, partial update, partially update products. Then this will be up, partial update docs. Then this last one is going to be delete, destroy rather. Okay, update, partial update, then destroy. So for destroy, that will be delete products. So delete docs. So I think that will be everything we need for now. I think that will be everything we need for now. So let me save this. Let me save this. Now after saving it, the next thing that we want to do, I hope everything was done correctly because I hate to make all these little mistakes. Okay, so let's just move forward. So now I'll bring the product view set decorator. I'll use it to decorate the whole view set. I'll use it to decorate the whole view set. So copy this, go to views, then after this one, bring it in. So at product view set docs. If I should save this and I come back to the Swagger UI and I reload, guess what? Now you can see how it presents all um the documentation. This is looking a bit better now. I've not gotten a hold of how you can achieve something more beautiful. You can see this other one is not really looking nice, but all these other ones, they are going to be looking nice and all that. So list all the products. You can see this one, create a new product, and you can see how it presents it. You can see retrieve products. You can see how it presents it. It's looking way nicer. Perhaps this might be because this is a function based view and this is a class based view. For now, I won't lie to you, I've not gotten a hold of it. I'll record another video and explain better. So This is a view set for editing products, and you can see how it presents the documentation looking very very nice. So you can also delete products. All these endpoints are working very very perfectly. So that is how you can do the documentation for all the methods in your view set. Okay, but if you come to this one over here, you can see that my query parameters are gone. How do I bring those back? For me to bring them back, I can just come to so for this list over here now, you can see the summary list of all the products, then the description. What I can do is just that I can bring the summary and the description then I can bring it here. Okay, the summary and the description. What did I do wrong? Okay, I think I know why it's shouting. So X then so list docs, put a comma, then product list documentation. So for the list, just bring product list documentation, and that is supposed to work fine. Let us test it out. So you can see the product list documentation. My documentation is there, and my query parameters are there. So everything is working just as intended. Now, lastly, before we call this tutorial a quit, how do you make authenticated requests in this Swagger UI? How can you make authenticated requests? For you to make authenticated requests, you have to come to authorize yourself. You whatsoever authentication have been defined. Now you can use cookies authentication, you can use token authentication, you can also use JWT. I explained all of them in my Django course, so you can just check it out. I think it's the Django Rest framework course. I explained JWT especially. So depending on what authentication classes, let us check it out. Authentication classes. Authentication classes, Django Rest framework. To authentication. Okay, so you can see you can by default what we have is just the password authentication where you enter your username and your password. By default, that is what we have. You can decide to set it as session authentication. You can also write your own authentication classes. You can use JWT authentication. Any whatever you want to use, it is accepted. Just come here, you will enter the required credentials, and you'll be able to make authenticated requests like we are going to be doing now. So I'm going to be using something over here. If you come to the views, I want to set it in such a way that you can only use this category filter if you are logged in. Okay, if you are logged in. So let me raise an error from REST framework dot I think it is exceptions import authentication field. Yes, so authentication field. So um, now if you are trying to use this category filter, if request dot user dot is authenticated, so do all this, no, control Z, else raise authentication field. You can just say the details only unauthorized requests. Okay, so and that is it, and that is it. So if you try to use the category filter now, it will just chase you away. So let me try to use the category filter. Let me reload just so we are sure. So for this category filter, let me try it out. I can just say what categories do I think I have toys. So toys execute. See, has no attribute. It's okay. It's authenticated. Actually, I think it's supposed to be is underscore authenticated. Sorry, it should be is underscore authenticated. So if the user is authenticated, it will go ahead to perform the filter. But if the user is not authenticated, it will raise an authentication field. Or this should work now. So let me just reload. So for the category, try it out. Toys execute. So I think the reason is it's executing it directly is because I'm logged in as admin over here. I'm logged in as admin. So let me go to an incognito window where I'm not logged in as admin. So come here and new incognito window, paste it. Now let me try to use it over here. Try it out. Toys execute. You can see unauthorized request, and this unauthorized request is coming from this authentication field that we unauthorized request that we made over here. So that now, how can I bypass? How can I supply some sort of credentials? So I can just log in as admin here too. All I have to do is just to come to authorize, then I'll enter my username, then the password, then I'll click on authorize. Now that I'm authorized, I can close this and come to toys and execute. If you come here, you can see it is now giving me the toys. Okay, you can see it's giving me the toys now. Another thing that you might want to do apart from that, I said you can add a particular validation to check if the quantity entered is not a negative number. If not, your program might start misbehaving. So I can just come here. Let us just to check before we call it a day. So if quantity, now I will now say if int qty, or let me see, how can I do it? If int qty, already it is sure that we're going to be getting a number, because if you check the schema over here, we specified here that it's going to be an integer. So anything the user will enter at that particular text field, it is going to be an integer for sure. So we don't have to worry about it not being an integer, but it is going to be getting into this function as a string. That's what I'm saying. So int quantity, if int quantity is greater than 0, it has to be greater than 0. Then let me just do this. Else, I want to raise a validation error. So authentication field, then validation error. So I'm going to be raise validation error, and the validation error I want to raise is basically the quantity cannot be 0 or less. Okay, so if I should come here to use the quantity now, don't forget I'm authorized as admin. Okay, so you can see that it is even, if you check the call request over here, you check the authorization, it's basic authorization. You see what I have over here. So for the toys and the quantity, let me say 4 toys. So if I should search, you see it is giving me 4 toys now. But what if I say -4? If I say negative 4 and I execute, you see quantity cannot be 0 or less because I raised a a validation error. Quantity cannot be 0 or less. So that is how you can do that. There is so much you can do with documentation, but one thing I'm sure of is that documentation is very, very important when working with an API. Documentation is very important. If you're working in a team and your API, or the only thing you are using to explain how the API works is just by chart or whatsoever, um, you will be tired at some point. Okay, but with what we've learned in this tutorial now, with less code. You don't have to write much code like that. You don't have to write much code. With less code, you can do a lot. You can document your API without having to do much work. Okay, and it will be a very very standard documentation. Swagger documentation is something that is widely used over the internet. All right, so the last thing I might want to do, but I'll leave it for you, is that you can see that this particular documentation here, it doesn't take into consideration these two query parameters. It doesn't take into consideration the two query parameters. Okay, so you can just rewrite the documentation to take those into consideration, and I think that will be the end of the tutorial. Thank you very much for watching to the end. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, please, you can always reach out, and you can ask in the comment section, and I will try to respond as soon as I can. So thank you very much. I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.